Hello everybody, welcome to the ESL UK studios. We've got the ESL UK Premiership for CSGO. My name is Kyanite. Introduce yourself, Hoss. Even though I just
there we go.
yourself for you.
Great start. I'm Hoss, and we are going to be bringing you the Group A of the ESL UK Premiership, sponsored by AOC, SanDisk, and MCM London Comic Con. We've got the groups on the screen right now. Group A tonight is going to be MALiK versus Perilous Rage to kick things off. The winner of this match will play the winner of ZenX and XL. And the winner of everything tonight does grab their spot for tonight for the event finals in London at the end of May.
Yeah, so here we go. We're live. MALiK eSports up against Perilous Rage. Map number 1 is going to be Cash. And Hoss, take us away for the pistol.
Yep, so of course we do have MALiK and Perilous Rage. These two did face against each other in the first qualifier we saw. MALiK took that one 2-0. They were both the finalists. And it was a pretty convincing 16-0 cobblestone, I think, as well. As we have Peggy, Shaney, Imi, Max, and Inkji starting off on the CT side, as it seems to be a mid-push wrapped around to A. Zeo trying to open things up, does get 2 frags very quickly, and this is the A site completely taken by Perilous Rage.
Yeah, superb play from Zeo. Not too bad considering it's the first half of the round. Shaney, Imi, and Inkji with it all to do now. Inkji looking to potentially go from shore, but it's such a difficult retake here, Hoss, for the CTs. None of them have really invested in any armor, but they're going to get flanked from behind anyways. It's 4 versus 2. And the question at hand now is whether they're going to be able to retake this bomb site. I don't think they will be able to.
No, it's just Shaney left now, and Zeo's going to come and grab that one. Gets himself a nice 3k to end things off. He got the first 2 and the last frag in that round, as now Perilous Rage. It's always nice to get that advantage, get that pistol round in the bag, and we're seeing a lot of SMGs recently, and Perilous, they're not going to change that one up. Mac 10 and then MP7s on everyone else.
Yeah, so Cash, a bit of a 50-50 sided map, really. I should probably try and turn this music off. Because it is quite frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering where that was coming from.
Yeah. There we go. That should get rid of it, I think.
I forgot CS had music.
Yeah, that should get rid of the music. Right, hopefully we're good to go now for good now.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit too dramatic for my liking.
So here we go. Submachine guns out from Perilous Rage as they look to take mid control. Mighty Max, he's down to only 4 points of health. That's a great shot nonetheless, looking to make it 2. Zeo knows where he is, but Zeo's very low on HP, will blow down Max, but you can argue Zeo's still a dead man walking.
Yeah, 7 HP. He only has a decoy as well. Not much that can really help them as they go onto these sites. MALiK, though, they are only down to 3. Peggy has the Deagle in hand, Inkji 5-7 and Shaney with the P250. Inkji and Peggy both have armor. So they are a little bit of a defense to be reckoned with here, as Inkji does get smoked out towards mid, has to fall back. Going to rotate towards A, leaving Peggy all by himself on that B bomb site. As it's Quiver with the bomb this time round. Shaney is going to get one very nice headshot. Can't find the second, though. That is Zeo down, who was the weakest member. Inkji, nice flash coming out from him. Does drop Meta as well.
Yeah, that was massive from Inkji. He's buying time now. They're going to let them get the bomb down, but he's waiting for his teammate in Peggy to rotate round. They need to make sure they try and retake this A-bomb site together as a unit. You know what? They spotted, that's why they call me, and he does fall to his death, and now it's Peggy. He's got armor. It's Deagle versus this MP7, which of course was buffed recently. And that's how good of a weapon it has now become, Hoss. 2-0. But it was still a good round from MALiK, considering that they only had pistols to work with. Granted, they invested in armor. They've got to go for roughly a full eco now, maybe with just P250s because it's relatively cheap. But to take out 4 of the 5 terrorists and make them lose so much money is big at this stage.
Yeah, definitely is. But they now need to back that up with frags this round as well, because essentially all those 4 frags did in the previous round was it meant that Perilous of going onto those AKs around earlier. If now MALiK can do some more damage, then they're forcing some serious rebuys.
Yeah, as well, T-side being cheaper, so you want to try and keep the terrorists' economy as low as possible. Because that's the thing about the CT side in CSGO, it's so expensive. You win 2 or 3 rounds in a row, you lose 1, and then your economy's gone.
As Shaney opening things up there with the headshot, and following on from your point, especially with the increase in price to the now silenced M4 as well, that certainly doesn't help things. And Imi going very aggressive, going to be falling back, does spot out another player there. As 2 frags already, with Meta down so low. It's a pretty good round for MALiK already.
It is, but Perilous Rage, they are going to stampede towards this A-bomb site. Breach it, they shout. They've smoked off short. Good smoke there. And now it's 2 versus 4. But hey, Zeo with an AK. That's why they call me with an AK. And now it's 3 versus 2. This is more than doable here, Hoss, for Perilous Rage. They've just got to keep their distance up against these submachine guns. But they've got to be careful because Imi does have an AK-47.
He does, as it's going to be Mighty Max coming in first. He did only have a pistol, so it's fair for him to rush. Peggy now going to fall, as it's all on Imi. And Zeo's just there, sat at the back, biding his time. Finishes off the round, but again, a lot of damage, and Zeo coming in bigger, getting there. 8 kills now in 3 rounds.
Yeah, and a lot of people were talking on Reddit earlier on. Apologies to people who summoned me on Reddit to try and give my take on how this game is going to go. You know what? I'll give people my take right now.
Go for it.
We spoke about earlier on, Haas, we both predicted that MALiK eSports would win. Why did you predict MALiK eSports would
win? I took them on the basis that this exact matchup, it was a 2-0. They didn't have exactly a disappointing ice series. It certainly wasn't what they were aiming for, but it was pretty good from them nonetheless. And the fact that they're staying as a full-on 5, I know they've been practicing hard, as InkG is going to open up 1. And I believe they were pretty close to getting into the... they were playing in some ESEA playoffs a while ago as well, and came close to qualifying to one of the ladders there that isn't the main.
So Imi knows there's someone who's managed to make his way up boost, but Mighty Max, the terrorist, has no idea he's there. It's going to be an easy frag for Mighty Max. Might be able to make it a double. He will make it a double. And now Perilous Rage, are they finally going to lose a round here? It's 4 versus 2. They know exactly where Max is. They're going to try and molly him out, but this is really good work from Max. And Meta, he's the man with the bomb here. No, in fact, Sky Broadband is the man with the bomb. And he's taken down that last CT inside the B-bomb site. So Mighty Max gets that frag, but if Sky Broadband can plant the bomb here and use those smokes, he may have had a half-decent chance, but it just wasn't meant to be. And if someone from Perilous is watching, someone who happens to have these guys on their friends list,
tell them
to kind enough to tell them to, you know, change their names. That would actually be quite helpful. L Sky Broadband.
Meta, and that's why they call me Big PA. Really nice mid control there from Mighty Max alone. Got 2 early frags there, got a 3rd later on as well, I think. And just being able to rotate from mid into vents to stop the final push coming in onto the bomb site. Really, really solid from him. I know that he's the big fragger for this MALiK team. Imi more the tactician, the smoke guy, the flash guy, calling the shots.
Quiver's a great AWPer as well.
And Quiver on Perilous Rage is certainly a great AWPer.
So Perilous Rage taking their time here with these Rec 9s. They've decided to go for the Tech 9s, save a little bit of money. And InkG here, he's all by himself on this B-bomb site. We've seen it time after time again, Hoss, particularly on the B-bomb sites on different maps, where a lot of teams opt to put one player defending it, even up against the ecos. If the Tech 9 gets up close and personal to him, drops him, and allows him to get a bomb plant, then it could be a very difficult retake for the CT. So InkG here has really got to play this one perfectly.
Yep, he can sense that the push is coming here. He did have an incendiary in his hand, but they are in fact all over on to that B-bomb site as they trade 1 for 1. InkG's going to get 1 frag. Mighty Max on there as well. InkG still alive. The bomb's gone fallen as it's just Meta and Quiver left now. They do have P250 and the Glock. Nothing really great on Quiver. He is able to get round here. Finds 1 frag onto InkG. Could pick up an M4 here as it's still 2 versus 2. They're 2 versus 1 on this site. The bomb still yet to go down. It's Meta rotating through all the way to T-spawn. Flash goes out, bomb goes down. That's a nice $800 though, considering the state that Rage were in.
Yeah, I think MALiK will still be disappointed by the fact that they lost over half the amount of players they had. Obviously, they invested quite heavily into that round. But credit where it's due, in my opinion, to InkG, because instead of showing himself like a lot of players would have done when they hear the terrorists running in, especially getting carried away mentally, knowing that their opponents or his opponents will have been on an eco, he just stayed hidden. And Perilous Rage didn't clear out the bomb site properly, which is why he managed to stop the bomb from being planted in the first place, and it also bought his teammates time to rotate. So it's little simple things like that which often make a big difference in CS, and MALiK now a dynamic defense. They've now got 2 players in this B bomb site.
Yeah, they certainly do, as Quiver just opening up this door, seeing what he can find on the A site. But again, this is MALiK going for this mid control. We have Mighty Max pushed up by Sandbags. I believe it's also Imi in there alongside him with the AWP, as it's going to be Quiver just missing that first shot. And in fact, he got tagged up down to about half HP first.
He did. Quiver trying to go for the wallbang to make up for something. But Shaney has played this position quite a bit. I wonder how long it's going to take until Perilous Rage start mollying him out, because it is a very common position, and when teams realize that someone's always playing there, they hold an angle like that's what Yukomi's doing, or utilize Molotovs when they want to take the bomb site to force that player out. So let's wait and see. It seems like Perilous have their hearts set on this A bomb site. Let's see whether they're going to try and split it or all go through the main area. Looks like they're going to try and split. Mighty Max holding mid. Imi, his right-hand man, gets the AWP kill as well, and that's why they call trying to get a flank kill. It's not going to happen. Imi with his second, and there's his third. Great play from Imi. Perilous fall 3-3.
Yep, all square now, and I know that Imi, he's not the greatest of AWPers. He's taken this role because no one in the team could really AWP. He is the man that calls the shots, so him having to AWP like that and getting a 3K is only going to do great things for his mentality moving in.
Confidence.
Yeah, confidence, big mentality boost moving into the late stages of this half. Still on that AWP, and again, Perilous Rage, they're on an eco. Last time they got the bomb down, that's a great flash. 3K, 4 kills going down there, and it's just Zio remaining. Imi missing that shot though, 1 HP left on him. Should be able to find this frag with ease. And there it is. Really nice aggression from MALiK.
I was worried you jinxed Imi just then. There we go. 4-3. Look at that.
That's
AWP.
the new AWP as
yeah,
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what do you think of it?
I actually haven't seen it. Where's Imi? There he is. Of course, he's got his knife out.
Yeah, let's go over to Imi.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a nice AWP actually. Look at it from behind.
The Mac 10 looks so good.
Here we go, Imi. He's got that confidence you were talking about, Hoss, and there is the frag. Bomb has been dropped, and such an early frag, Hoss. Will not just give Imi confidence for getting the kill, but the rest of his teammates confidence as well. But they need to make sure they don't get carried away from this position now.
And the intel they got as well, they knew that the bomb was hanging around mid, so that Perilous Rage was still a little bit undecided about where they wanted to play. So just knowing that they hadn't decided at the beginning of the round means that MALiK could probably catch them off guard again here, as it looks like we have 2 players of the T side moving in towards this B site. Zio, oh, how did he get through there?
I think he went through the door, yeah.
He did. Imi, it's no good looking there now. Zio still on that site. The bomb, though, is going over towards B. MALiK have rotated 1 player over. This could be a big mistake. Zio getting another one is only going to force the more of a rotate. Ooh. Zio just clearing this site out as Inkchi goes down, as it's all Peggy by himself. Just going to be looking to get some exits here, but apart from that, saving this one in spawn.
To be honest, I don't think that was Zio's brilliance. I think it was MALiK's
sloppiness.
Yeah, sloppiness. It really was sloppy from them, to be honest. But here we go, bomb ticking. They know exactly where Peggy is, and they, of course, don't want him to save all these nades and the armor that he had and his weapon. And they haven't allowed him to save. So even though they suffered 1 casualty, it was good that they dropped him. And it is going to be even Steven at 4-4 here, Hoss. And the CTs, it looks like they're going to force buy it. We're going to probably see a few M4 drops coming out here, and Shaney is going to be... No, he's been dropped an M4 as well, so... Not ideal for MALiK. They've got 2 players without helmets, but then again, up against the AK, does it really matter? Probably not.
Yeah. The only time it really matters is up against a HE grenade, but even then, the likelihood of that coming in is pretty minuscule, though.
Interesting from MALiK to push that door room area. They could potentially flank Perilous there, because I don't think they have actually someone watching from behind.
Yep, as this is oh so common in the UK scene right now, just not having anyone watching behind. They had Meta playing all the way from spawn, but this now starts the rush. They're going to have That's Why You Call Me push out onto Imi. Shaney falls as well. Mighty Max going to come and rotate in. Is able to find 1 frag with that nice shiny new M4A1S. As we're into a 3 versus 3 post-plant situation. Inkchi also joining the push here from mid. So we're going to have 2 mid and 1 through CT. They know there's someone indoor, as they just saw it get closed. Quiver going to throw that nade, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage. In fact, did about 20 onto Peggy here. That's Why You Call Me getting challenged here, kind of zoned out by Mighty Max. Inkchi gets 1 on the site. Zio is going to come around here, should be able to find 1, not find the 2. Peggy trying to get on this. He might have this, in fact, and he does not.
So unfortunate there. Perilous made that a lot more difficult for themselves than it should have been, to be fully honest with you. Especially as they had the player behind the door as well. He didn't really have to open the door and take them on like that. And as a result, they've got to rebuy at least 2 AK-47s, which they probably could have potentially saved. So here we go. MALiK eSports, of course, they forced it up in the last round, and the eco has to come out. But even if Perilous Rage at this point, Hoss, make it 6-4, Cash is quite a 50-50 map, you know what I mean? It's not catastrophic yet for MALiK eSports. They're still very much in with a shout.
Yeah, as it seems we're going to have pretty even-sided maps throughout tonight. First map is Cash, second is Inferno, so not exactly too CT-sided, and then this is just a clean out here, and then we get a little bit CT-sided as we move on to Mirage, should it be needed.
Still 2 kills from Shaney, that's pretty decent. He knows that the bomb's down, and Zio is on low HP, so if Shaney catches where he is, he may have gotten a third, but he's not going to get it in the end. But to be fully honest with you, if the rest of Shaney's teammates perhaps got at least 1 frag each, that round could have been a lot closer. And that's the thing about CSGO as opposed to 1.6 or Source. The pistols are so much stronger than they used to be. And like back in Source or 1.6, when you know your opponents are on an eco, you could sort of afford to get a little bit complacent and switch off. But in CSGO, especially with weapons like the 5.7 and the Tech 9 and the CZ, you really can't. And in my opinion, I think that makes CSGO a much more exciting game to watch as well.
Because these so-called free rounds are no longer free.
Exactly.
Because you actually have to fight for them. Yeah, you have to actually put some money into grenades and use maybe not full-on tactics, but at least a good amount of knowledge just to try and execute something. Speaking of execute, Perilous Rage looking to get on to this A bomb site here. There are 4 players hanging around in main. One of them through door. I believe it's Quiver. No, it's Meta through door this time. First time he's going to be bursting out of there. InkG has some control of this mid, but of course he can't see anything. Perilous just waiting for this one. We have Shaney and MBK. They get flashed up. There's not going to be a push behind this though. As Sky Broadband they're sending 2 mollies in. This is
Shaney's burning, Shaney's burning, Shaney's gone, surely 5 HP. He's still left standing. I can smell the smoke from here, but it does look like Perilous Rage are going to be trying to breach this A bomb site. Shaney, he's still holding the angle, he's still breathing. He may have been burnt, but he will get a frag before going down. Zio searching for the head of Mighty Max, but he finds Imi, and now 3 versus 2. Perilous, it's tough for them to get the bomb down here, but Zio, he's going to get the bomb down in this corner now. He's got his teammate in and around the yellow area, so he might actually have this on the cards now. He's got to try and hide behind this smoke, but realistically, he's surrounded, but not if the CT. He's pushing 1 by 1. But unfortunately, for Perilous Rage fans, that didn't go according to plan. The thing is, if Shaney had fallen at the corner area, that round...
Yeah. The fact that he
was
able
so different for him pushing into that bomb site.
The fact that he was able to survive on 5 HP
and still get a frag.
Yeah, and essentially just trade 1 for 1 instead of what would have been a 1 for 0 in favor of Perilous Rage was just so big. It just meant they had that. They lost that man as they were trying to hold the site.
You've got to give credit where it's due to Zio. 20 frags already, whilst Meta and Sky Broadband are on 3.
His back is hurting right now.
Yeah.
Mighty Max sat here again. Is going to get 1. Going to repeat. Looks for the second, but Meta's going to find that one with the Galil.
Meta. Mid control now belongs to Perilous Rage. They haven't really favoured the B-bomb site too much. They've favoured it when they know that their opponents are ecoing, but these gun rounds, they like to take on the CTs at long distance and take them on. They will, and that A-bomb site has been opened. There's Peggy and InkG now to try and rotate round. 1 from CT, 1 from short. Sky Broadband twisting and diving to try and dodge this Molotov. But here, Hoss, Perilous Rage can just put the welcome mat on the bomb site and tell the CTs, come to us. They don't have to peek.
Yep. But Peggy doesn't spot the arm just yet, and then grabs That's What You Call Me, as we have Quiver, who's probably bleeding out here. Both of them, in fact, are. Sky Broadband going to get taken down, and that's another retake going in the favour of MALiK.
Again, it was far too easy for MALiK eSports to pull off that retake. The player who's hiding behind yellow, he had more than enough time to get a potentially better position, maybe even hide in the door area where the bomb would have been right in front of him. The problem was, after that player went down at yellow, the player who was in main then showed himself and gave away his position as well, and died as a result of it. Because against players of this quality, you can't afford to show them too much flesh. They will punish you. And then what was a 3 versus 2 in favour of the teams became a 2 versus 1 against them, and there was only so much Zeo could do at MBK.
Yeah, exactly right, as it's going to be a B rush on this eco train for Perilous Rage here. I think they have some smokes, they have some mollies, and they have a flashbang as well, so they can definitely get onto this site, maybe get one surprise frag. But that might be all they find. We, of course, have Inkji and Vents as well. Nice spin from him. Peggy forced up close and personal. And this is such an annoying spot, even on an eco, to clear out. Because he can just do that. He has the superior angle. As now he's going to come round, gets taken down by the Tech 9, but baited for his teammate, and they're going to trade frag.
They are. Meta now, he's picked up the bomb, 69 HP, but Max knows where he's coming from. But still, 3 out of 5 CTs. Still not too shabby for Perilous Rage, and I think what we saw there was the Rec 9 at its best.
Yeah. I mean, still up close and personal, it is a very strong gun. Yeah. And it did work there. AKs, though, now coming in for Perilous Rage, and 6 rounds is okay for T-side cash. They, of course, considering how early they are, they'd like to have got more, but they wouldn't be too displeased with 6. This is going to be probably the last full-on gun round. Should MALiK win this, then they could take a 9-6, but it's going to be nades galore with smokes on this A bomb site, as we're seeing a double boost up across into mid with Sky Broadband. Well, Meta's going to take out Inkji yet again. But they do still have Mighty Max alive, who is top fragging alongside Shaney here. But Zeo, again, just in comparison to his team, just so much work.
Yeah, he's still on 20 frags. But Inkji, they're really unfortunate. He's done it round after round, where he's pushed all the way up mid, sometimes sat in the vents, to prevent Perilous getting that mid control. But the problem is, when you're a lone CT, the T's can potentially push you from boost and push you from the door area, but it's not going to matter when Imi's playing like that. Great play from Imi, but there is the return frag from Perilous Rage, from Quiver, as a matter of fact. He's known to be a great AWPer. He hasn't had much of a chance to pick up that weapon. Sky Broadband on the flank, and that could be a crucial frag, because it's now tilted the 3 versus 3 in favour of Perilous Rage to a 3 versus 2, catching off the rotator.
Yeah, something to note about that mid control early on in the round as well is that it was working so well when Mighty Max and Imi were controlling the mid.
As a duo.
Yeah, as a duo.
Because that's the problem. T's can push you from boost and push you from 2 places at once.
Whereas this time it was just Inkji all by himself, and then Imi came round a little bit later on, as MALiK are going to save this one. And it really cost them, because getting that early frag meant that MALiK, of course, had to rotate one more player over towards A. And even then, they were a little bit caught out, as we're now all tied. 7-7 going into the last round of the half. Someone has to win this half.
Yeah. And money-wise...
Peggy can drop, Shaney can buy. Mighty Max still has the AK, could drop a FAMAS, but he's going to go for nades.
He can still accumulate a half-decent buy. It's not going to be pretty, but, you know,
it's
4 rifles ain't too shabby.
Shaney on no armor, though.
It makes me wonder whether it would be a better idea to give that M4 to Imi, because Imi's a player with armor, and have Shaney be the lone ranger of the CZ. Because he's still got a lot of nades, so he could potentially be that utility support player who'll, you know, do the dirty work with the nades. But hey, the ball's in their court, and they can do whatever they like. And what they probably like right now is to shut down this T push out of mid. Meta gets one, goes down to the Mighty Max, however, and Perilous Rage deciding we've got 1 frag at mid. Let's fall back now, regroup, and try our luck elsewhere.
Yeah, and that elsewhere is going to be towards this A site. It seems they've had success here in the past. They haven't really hit the B site, apart from on an eco. They've really used their nades, their mollies to get this bomb down, but it's been in the post plant where they've had the least success. The mollies are going to go in. That's one going towards Forklift, one going to MBK, and I believe a smoke going across. Sky Broadband's getting the entry on this one as Shaney goes down. Perilous player still trying to find some more shots here. Mighty Max, he's going to get 1. Could have got 2, but it's now just Imi left, CZ in hand. And Perilous Rage take the half, 8 rounds to 7.
A good half from both sides, to be fully honest with you. Yeah. However, because it's so even at this point, it makes this second half pistol round quite significant. Because whichever team can capitalise on those first 3 rounds could potentially, obviously, if Perilous Rage managed to win the pistol, it put them at 11 rounds, and we'll leave it at 11-7. And even though 11-7, there's only 3 or so rounds, 4 rounds between the two teams. If MALiK don't capitalise on their gun round afterwards, and the same goes the other way around, then they'll find themselves in trouble. And that's the thing about the second half pistol. So here we go.
This.
Yeah. All
Just
down
a
mid.
straight up push.
Split. Wasted no time.
With no mid control coming out from Rage. They're just stacking 3 on this B bomb site. Although Meta's going to be able to find 1 frag here. Mighty Max grabs that. And that's a very nice 1 dink there onto the head of Meta. Bomb's going to go down here as the retake is on. It's 4 versus 3.
Yep, 4 versus 3. And let's see whether MALiK can do what Perilous were getting wrong last round, or last half rather. So here we go, 4 versus 3. MALiK, they don't have to show too much flesh here, but Mighty Max does find himself in a bit of a pickle. He's got players to his left, players to his right. Down goes Zeo. Sky Broadband with 1, looking to make it 2, but no, Mighty Max puts his foot down on this bomb site. Mr. Tom Quiver all by himself, only a USP in hand. And well, 3 versus 1 got absolutely surrounded and demolished. 8-8.
Yeah, and that's the second time the teams have won the pistol here, and it was the exact same strat. Perilous Rage on their pistol round went for that A split, got the bomb plant and came off better. This time though, Peggy, he's going to actually pick up the full-on rifle here, as is InkG in the Galil. They've put quite a bit of money into this round. Mighty Max there on the UMP. As they're going to just split and pick. They don't want to get caught off by this force buy, which does include 2 scouts.
It does, and the scout, obviously the fact that it's 100% accurate in mid-air is one of the reasons, and it's quite cheap, is one of the reasons why it's not uncommon to see teams start buying it on the second round after they lose the initial pistol. Envious love to do it from time to time. So let's see what Perilous can do with these scouts. We've got Meta and Sky Broadband on them. Sky Broadband is going to hold the B-bomb site with it, and Meta is going to hold the A-bomb site with it from the truck area. So let's see what happens. Yeah,
it is a one-shot headshot as well. And if it hits the body, it will do about 80, I believe, 70 to 80.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah, it will certainly put someone within pistol range. And when the rest of your team do have those pistols, it makes it so much easier. But it's going to be a one-man hold for now. Quiver doing his best. Does trade 1-for-1. Meta, though, can't find anything with that scout. It's not been too effective just yet. And InkG might be a little bit scared to push out here. The smoke does bloom. Followed up by a flashbang. InkG trying to fall back into door. But he will find That's Why You Call Me. He finds a frag alongside Zeo. Meta now looking to fall, but finds a frag with the scout. InkG gets 1. He needed to turn around. Gets 2. Gets 3. Is he going to get the 4th?
Oh!
Yes, he is! InkG! Wow.
Oh, phenomenal play from InkG. Wow. Ladies and gents, that's how you use a Galil. And...
I think he they've paused.
I think
here.
he's had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And he jizzed his pants. Needs to go and change his underwear after that one. Deary me. He definitely dug deep for that one, to say the least, and saved MALiK the blushes, because after getting the bomb down, they should not have lost so many men as well. So InkG there, he saved them plenty of times in the past, and he saved them this time round as well. And it seems like there's an issue with Mighty Max. Not so mighty now, are we, Max? No, I'm just kidding. Good friends with Mighty Max. He's a cool dude.
Yep. And so yeah, pistol round did go to MALiK. They now take the lead.
I think one thing we need to point out is, obviously, you know, we don't like to single players out, but Zeo's had a fabulous game so far, but I don't think a few of his teammates have exactly stood up to that mark. And I think we look at some of these players. Quiver, I love him as a player. I think he's brilliant. But he is somewhat of a dedicated AWPer a lot of the time. I've seen Quiver play quite a lot. And once you give him the AWP, he'll work wonders with it. And the problem was on the T side, more difficult to AWP on the T side, particularly after the current AWP nerf. And I guess you can argue whether it's affected the likes of Kenny S and JW and them lot. But obviously, the fact that it's so slow now when you try to strafe when you're zoomed in with the AWP does hinder trying to go for those aggressive peaks. So that could be one of the reasons why he hasn't picked it up. But also one of the other reasons why we haven't seen him utilize the AWP that much is because the first half was so close, Hoss, they didn't really have the finances to buy up an AWP, because it is
so back
very
and forth.
expensive. Yeah.
Yep, and I just checked. Sky Broadband is Ash, and That's Why You Call Me is Joe or Luster.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to remember that.
No, you probably won't.
No, I think we're going to have a word with Mr. Gumpster.
Yeah, he said he'd chuck him a message at halftime, if
Yeah.
not during the break between game 1 and 2. But
shout out to Gumpster.
Yep.
I'm sure he's watching.
He is currently spectating the other match, I believe, making sure there's no wrongdoing in that one.
Doesn't he work for Perilous, though? He should be cheering his lads on.
He's Perilous community manager, I think. It's a volunteer position. Imi, even on a Tech 9, is able to find that first frag. But you mentioned about Kenny S with the AWP, and it was evident in the ESL Pro League that he still hasn't really adjusted.
I guess you can argue that it was evident that he has adjusted at ESEA, obviously, them reaching as far as, or doing as well as they do.
It's amazing what a little bit of time can do.
Yeah. But here we go, only pistols from Perilous Rage. None of them have really even invested in armor. It's 3 USPs. P3000, they of course, for anyone new to the game, are the default guns that you get gifted to you as soon as you spawn. So Perilous Rage here, just trying to do a bit of damage, get a few exit frags, which will of course hurt the MALiK economy, but I don't think they're going to be able to be honest.
Yeah, it's just Meta left standing now, and it's actually going to be a clean sweep by the looks of things. 5-0, and MALiK, they don't have to rebuy anything. They get the luxury of full-on weapons. Imi just buying up that AK straight away. Peggy doing the same. They have a good bank behind them. Should they lose this one, they can probably put a force together if they wanted to.
M4s finally for Perilous Rage, and talking about what we spoke about earlier, Hoss, if Perilous Rage don't win this, their first gun round, they'll find themselves back on an eco, and we could end up seeing MALiK at 12 rounds, and that's a great kill from Shaney, quickly opening things up. They're not letting Perilous Rage get into their stride whatsoever, and there's the second. Perilous Rage, far too aggressive for my liking, and Peggy with another. And, well, they're just running around, they're running and gunning here, MALiK eSports. It's too easy for them.
Anyone would think this is an eco round for Perilous Rage. Just MALiK just running, getting them entry frags, easy as that. No real resistance. I'm not even sure Perilous Rage fired any bullets that round. Shaney's tagged up a little bit. Mighty Max looks like he got caught by a grenade, but
it's no surprise to see him saving these M4s.
Yeah. I mean,
can they force them? Oh,
no, they can't force. This is going to go to 12. 12-8.
Well, never say never. But here we go. Well,
good spray control.
Good spray control, but he had no reason to lose that M4 as well. You know, he could have saved it.
And Imi really should have fallen. 6 HP.
Yeah.
That's like, what, maybe two M4 shots to the body, maybe? Hitting a leg in there as well.
Obviously, I think what Perilous Rage were trying to do there is, obviously, as CTs, you like to go aggressive at certain areas of the map, because if you can go aggressive there and cut off the main choke point, like for example on DDoS 2, if you can start off a round as CTs, like send 2 or 3 people B, push into tunnels and cut off any potential choke point in towards that B bomb site, you can then just put the mass majority of your focus on short, long and mid. And it looked like that's sort of what Perilous were trying to do, but most of the time you can't go as lone rangers and try to clean up different areas. And well, talking about
lone
cleaning up different areas, yeah, that's going to be an AK for Sky Broadband.
He's not even going to get punished.
No, he's not. He's not. But they're not too worried about him, I don't think. They know he's going to be rotating from main. You can see that based off where Peggy's watching. But look at this. Sky Broadband with yet another. Looking to make it 3. He's not going to make it 3. Peggy all by himself. And well. I said never say never. And never say never looks like it's going to bite you in the bum, Hoss. Because Peggy is in a very tough situation here.
I feel as if they really should have punished Sky Broadband there. They saw him get the frag, and they had one player on boost. He could have happily fallen down and stopped Sky picking up that AK.
It's true. Yeah, it's a good point.
And it really came back to haunt them.
It did. Well, I mean, wasn't the second player that Sky Broadband managed to kill that player who was on boost, who took his time and waited? Yeah. I mean, I could totally understand why he was a bit passive, didn't want to sort of lose the second man so early on in the round, but you're correct when you say if he'd been able to take him out before he picked up that AK, that terrorist with an AK up against the pistol that the CT had probably would have been more effective.
And then it would have been a trade as well, 1-for-1, not only stopping him get the AK, but evening the numbers out. But MALiK, they do have the bank to grab another buy here. Good amount of grenades throughout them as well. As we actually have the same position that InkG played last round, being played by Meta, I believe that is, hiding away in vents. Looks like it's going to be a move slightly towards mid, but Imi is going to take out That's Why You Call Me. As it's pushed through to A, 1 go down, 2 go down, Zeo fragging like a monster that he is. Imi going to be rotating through mid, is able to find one, Max going down, it's just Imi left now. It's either go hard or go home, 5k or a round loss.
Well, can he do it? Only time will tell. Zeo, he's still in a great position. Imi should probably roughly know he's there based off of where Zeo got the kills earlier on. And he does. There's one from Imi. 2 more to go. He was going to spot a glimpse of that CT, and the CT's here showing far too much flesh, but Imi has to be careful. Tom Quiver is lurking behind him from mid, but no, he's not seen him. 10 seconds to go. He needs to pick up this bomb. He needs to try and get the plant, but I don't think he has enough time. And Sky Broadband here just running down the clock. But Imi to try and plant, but of course Sky Broadband won't let him. 11-10. And I still think that was very unfortunate for Imi. I think he did really well to get that final frag. And Perilous Rage, Hoss, granted they won an eco round the round before the last round, but they have really looked shaky sort of when they shouldn't peak. They have been peaking, and we saw the same thing like in their after plant positions on the T side. And there's not that too much to say about it, but individually some of these players are making incorrect decisions, I guess you can argue.
Yeah, and you really have to look at Zeo and think just how much he's keeping his team in this one. 24 frags, and then you've got Meta down there. Didn't
he just get like 3 frags?
Yeah, he got 2 or 3 that last round, and really just keeping his team in it. Imi tried his best to upset him, but in the end did get taken down. Zeo's teammates were able to do something there, as this man still playing this mid-rotate role, going to be smoking out main, whereas we have Ing G lurking towards this B-bomb site. I think we actually saw him catch 1 or 2 players out in that exact same position in the previous half.
It's so crucial to have that one player who's playing on the flanker role, because up against poor CTs, you can catch him off guard. For example, when your teammates are trying to infiltrate another bomb site, you prevent the rotation coming in to keep your team in it. But the question at hand now is where are MALiK going to go? And it looks like they're going to go to B. It's Zeo who was put to his death on short, but it's now 3 versus 2. Sky Broadband here trying to hold this income into the B bomb site all by himself. Drops 1. He's made it 2 so far, but Shaney, he says no. 2 versus 1. Meta needs to prevent this bomb going down, but this is going to be tough. But if he can drop Peggy, this might be doable. He knows where he is because he knows the bomb was planted.
Yeah, but we do have Shaney playing a nice position here in checkers. Peggy going to rotate out of his initial position, move up close and personal. Meta's going to find that frag, in fact. That's now Shaney going to flash the site. Bomb is planted perfectly, Pim. Meta's not able to find the frag. Does get taken down. And really nice patient play there from Shaney as the T's win the round, taking things to 12-10. And Perilous Rage can force it if they want, but it seems like they're just going to go for these CZs and a scout in there as well.
That was a really good example of why in Counter-Strike it's so important that when you have time
to plant the bomb
and the breathing space to plant the bomb in a great position like that, you should. Because, for example, you think about DDoS 2, if you can always plant for long or plant for short and work off the plant position, the chances that it'll come back to haunt you are much, much slimmer. And we saw there, it was a 2 versus 1. The bad thing happened, it went down to a 1 versus 1. But because the plant was so good and the positioning was so good by the other MALiK player, it was a simple 1 AK for him. So here we go, 4 versus 4. Perilous Rage on a bit of a mixed buy, to say the least. They've got 2 scouts. It didn't work for them last time, Hoss. Let's see whether they can make it work. Well, actually, no, it did work for him last time, because wasn't it? No, actually, no, it didn't. Ink G got the 4-man. Yeah.
Ink G got the 4-man on that one. This time it's looking like it's not going to work either, although Sky Broadband's going to find 1 frag there with the USP from range. Gets taken down to 13 HP by the nade, but we are 3 versus 3, and Meta, he has picked up an AK-47.
He has, so here we go, that same plant, and it makes sense because obviously he knows where Mighty Max and Shaney are. And wow, if that was an AWP, that would have probably been a frag. Mighty Max, the man to watch the flank from behind, Hoss, and do you think they can do it, Perilous?
No. Meta and Quiver remaining. And there it is, Mighty Max and Shaney combining, and just going back to what you were saying about being a good post-plant position. It's what let Perilous rage down on their T side.
Yeah.
When they were getting onto the A site, they'd get the 3 entries, have quite a bit of time, but still plant really sloppily in standard, very easy to go in and frag out positions.
Ideally, when you plant on that A bomb site, you don't want to plant in the corner where we saw Perilous plant a lot of the time. You want to plant just to the right of it so that you can hold it either from door and from main as well. So here we go. Peggy, well, he's read Perilous. Open book, and he will get the headshot. That's how powerful the Kalashnikov is. InkG, he knows that these Perilous players like to sneak up to sandbags, but not that time round here, Hoss. But they can still capitalize on this. And Mighty Max, well, it looked like he was going to get caught with his pants down. Zio and Co pushing, but Mighty Max with a double. And there's no way that Perilous should have let him get away with that. No way. They had the positional advantage. And now Quiver has to pull a 1v5 out the bag. And judging by his body language, he's not even interested in doing it. And that was a great opportunity for the CTs to capitalize, Hoss, and they didn't.
Yeah, and again there in the mid, I think it was Peggy there who had a molly in his hand but was still able to pick up the frag. Just a little sloppiness coming out from Perilous Rage and Quiver. He's being forced to save this one. Is going to find one frag onto Imi, but now they all know where he is and he really needs to change his position.
Quiver, he's yet to pick up AWP. Peggy with an easy headshot. 14-10 the score as MALiK eSports edge closer and closer to racking up map number 1 here in the ESL UK Premiership groups. This is Group A. My name is Kyanite. Alongside me is Hoss. Big shout out to AOC and SanDisk, who are our sponsors for the event.
And of course MCM London Comic Con, where the final will be held at the end of May.
Oh, look at this.
Hello. 2. Almost 2.
Fortunate there. If only the CZ had a few more bullets within it. But I think if Valve decided to add more bullets to the CZ, I think the entire community would head over to New York or wherever they're based. Single-handedly strangle Gaben. Here we go. 4 versus 4. CTs know exactly where these terrorists are, but Peggy, he's gone unnoticed and he's in a great position here. Yet again, he's the man who's going round the different angles and flanking and catching his opponents with their pants down, but it's not going to matter because Shaney's going to go in with the AK, putting it to good work. And here it's 2 scouts versus 4 AKs and an M4, and it really is going to take something special for them to pull it off.
Well, there's a quarter of something special. But no, they're just going to back away and save this, and look like they're going to play frags here. As Shaney toying with, I believe that's Luster. But yeah, I mean, MCM Comic Con's going to be awesome this year.
It is, yeah. Obviously, we've got League of Legends there as well.
Yep.
Not that we like League of Legends. I know you're somewhat of a fan of League of Legends.
Yeah.
I hate MOBA games.
But, I mean, I've been to I don't know how many now as staff ESL, admin in League, and the atmosphere there is amazing. It's going to be the first Counter-Strike tournament we have, and I'm hoping it's going to be received really well. And if the crowd come in like they do for League, it's going to be so awesome on the Saturday and the Sunday.
Awesome stuff. So, MALiK and Perilous Rage, 2 teams who, you never know, you might see it MCM.
Yeah.
Depending on who wins this game, obviously being a factor. Whoever loses this game, they won't be out just yet though. They will drop down to the lower bracket. But here we go, mid-control, plenty for MALiK eSports. That man again, Mighty Max getting the entry. Zio is going to be burnt to a crisp. And has the fat lady sung for Perilous Rage, Hoss. She just very well may have done. But we still got 2 maps, or 1 map.
And 3 players left for Perilous Rage on this one.
Yeah.
Although 5 rounds is a big task, as Meta's going to get 2 before he falls down here. So we are back onto a 3 versus 3. Meta going to find yet another, and another! But InkG now 1 versus 2. I told you they still had 3 players.
Well, you know what they say.
Still got to get 4 more rounds though.
Never say never. I said last time around it came to bite you in the backside, but this time it definitely bit me in the backside. But MALiK eSports on the slightly more cheaper side. They're going to be able to buy up the AK-47. Great work from Meta. Shame that good old auto director couldn't catch it. with the P250. But then again, when you're MALiK and you've got AK-47s, you can't afford to let a CT with just P250 by take advantage of you like that. But Mighty Max again with the entry. InkG, someone who Max has played with for a very long time, putting that AK to good work. It's 3 versus 2. The bomb site is in control of MALiK. But are they going to notice Zeo pushing out? They most certainly will. And maybe their host, Zeo, probably should have stayed a little bit more patient and waited for Meta to rotate round, because unless Meta can do this 3 versus 1, it's going to be 1-0 to MALiK, and 1-0 it shall be.
Yeah, there it is indeed. 16-11 is the score for our first map of DE Cash in tonight's first game, and the second map will be Inferno.
It most certainly will be. And Inferno, obviously, we're going to have a knife round. Inferno, slightly more CT-sided map. Not as CT-sided in CSGO as it once upon a time was in 1.6 and Source. But whoever wins that knife round and starts on the much more favoured CT side could find themselves going into the second half with quite a bit of momentum, especially if they rack up 10 to 11 rounds, as you normally expect the CTs to be able to do.
9-6 is an okay halftime score for Inferno, but if the T's
it's okay
do win,
if you capitalise once you go onto your pistol round on the CT side.
If the T's do win that pistol round, then it's a big, big head start for them. But we're going to take a quick break here while we do get that second map set up, which will be Inferno. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with map number 2 very shortly.